Hello and welcome to a VO's Journey podcast. My name is Anthony Pica, and this show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business, sidestep all the crazy things that I seem to step on. Amazing weekend. I am so thrilled. It is October 17th. We just finished up with the VO's Journey Voiceover Conference 2022. I am speechless, blown away. This was the first time we've ever done this conference, and I want to talk to you today about the main themes and takeaways that we got from this incredible week. I think we had like 18 different sessions. We had Scott Brick there, Brent Allen Hagel, Sean Pratt, Gabby Nistico, Eli Harris. We had the CEOs from Voquin, Voices.com, Voice123. We had the manager of the audio and visual section of Fiverr there. We had e-learning panels. We had, I'm forgetting people I know, but there's so many amazing people that came and spoke, just absolutely incredible. And I want to share with you the main themes that went over this week in the conference, and I think how it can really help you as a voice actor. All right, let's do it. This is VO's Journey. With your host, the incomparable Anthony Pica. So I am so excited to be talking to you about these themes and what happened in the conference, because for me too, I learned such a great deal. And by the way, I think it's important for me to say, I have to say that, really check out, there's a link in the bio, but check out a VO's Journey Elite Academy. The Academy is kind of what hosted this, but what I've realized throughout this whole process, the conference this weekend, even more so, is that you need a community that not only is there to support you, but a community that's there with opportunities, and that's what the Academy is and is becoming more and more as we build these relationships, with agents and with studios and production houses. We had the CEO and the production vice president or president, I think she's a vice president, Julie, and we had Dan Zitt there from Penguin Random House Audio and Ahab. We had a bunch of instructional designers that hire a lot of e-learning work. All these connections, all these people. That's what the Academy is also becoming about. It's about helping you not only get started in voiceover, making money, but to me, and the push of the primary push I'm also making now is to help people take that next level, where you are making money and you're ready to take the next step. And I think the next step is like, hey, listen, these are the people you need to talk to. This is where you need to go. This is what you need to be working on. This is the path and the direction you need to go. So listen, check out a VO's Journey Elite Academy. We'd love to have you. It's a wonderful, wonderful group. Our goal is to become the #1 voiceover academy in the world. You are hearing it here. That is our goal. I'm not shy of it. I think it's possible, and I know it's going to happen. With your help, we can do it and help voice actors from start to finish, not just from one place. So let's get into the Academy and the themes. I'm probably not going to be able to tackle all of them, but man, there's some great stuff. The first theme that came up a lot in the Academy, and what was crazy about this is that, none of the presentations from all of our speakers were shared amongst each other, right? No one knew, you know what I mean? We didn't do that. No one knew what the other person was going to talk about. They knew there was every session had a topic, a title, but no one knew what the other person was going to actually say, right? So it was so cool to hear session after session of people saying the same, thing, right? So one of the main themes that was there was branding. How important it is to brand you or to brand what your goal is. And I think that's important. Like I just said, my goal is to have the number one voiceover academy in the world. Are we that way right now? No, we're not. We're a major player, but we're not. I don't think I wouldn't go and say we're the number one voiceover academy in the world yet. Okay, but we're gonna work really hard to get there, so that way we can help you the most, right? And to growing your voiceover business and being successful. But you've got to brand yourself how you want to be. Meaning, like, if you want to work in e-learning, you need to be the e-learning person. And more so, what type of e-learning do you want to be in? You want to do medical e-learning, medical narration. You be that person. You start to brand yourself. You build your website. And that's another theme that was spread throughout this, was have a good, solid, branded website. Okay. It doesn't need to be 1,000 pages. You're not building a roster, okay, of other voice actors, but you still need to have a website that people are going to go to. They're going to see that you're legitimate, right? They're going to see that, you have a portfolio of work. And make sure that it's easy for them to see it. Now, you know me. I love websites. I love design. I love building robust websites because I'm also trying to get people to find us on the web. And that's a part of your website as well if you want to go down that path. Again, it's important to know yourself, brand where you're going, okay? Here's another theme that was throughout the whole conference, yet interestingly enough, we didn't really speak directly on it, but yet every single session really, it was about it. And that was goals and goal setting. I just had a great session this morning with one of my mentor students, and we were talking about that, about goal setting, and about the conference. And a lot of us set these goals. Like, I want to make $3,000 a month. Okay. And you set this goal. Okay. You set a financial ambiguous goal. Now, is that a bad thing? No. I want to be open with you about it. No, I don't think setting a monetary goal is a bad thing at all. And if you want to set a monetary goal, trust me, I know exactly how to get you there because I have done it with a lot of people. I can get you there on freelance platforms and pay-to-play platforms in a matter of 2 years, probably. Okay? I can do it. We've done it. We're doing it over and over again with people. But do you want more than that? Do you want to create, a bigger business? Okay, yes, a bigger business that yields revenue, but something else. Something like I mentioned, when I first started in voiceover, I first had the goal. Interestingly enough, my business has never been actually, even though the money has changed my life. If I look at throughout my life, you guys, the goals I've had have always been about money until it was this business. And then during this business, my goals changed. Like, my first ever goal in the business was I just wanted to have a book on Amazon, an audiobook on Amazon, so I could search my name. And I wanted to do that because I felt like as a performer in my life, I wanted to that was like almost a bucket list type thing for me. And it made me feel important. whether that's true or not, it was a very vital thing to my mental health. Okay, it really was. And I started to become aware of how important, and I hate to say it, selfish that was, but how important my mental health was to everyone else around me. Because my mental health, it was just destroying everyone else around me too. Okay, the people who were stuck with me. Okay, so that was the first goal that I ever had, and I accomplished that goal. I accomplished it within the first month. I was trying voiceover, right? Then, my next goal was to start to become a regular working voice actor. Like, so I wanted to be the person who always had work. I saw all these people constantly struggling to find work and find jobs. And I was like, I just want to be a person who's always working. I wanted to be a working voice actor who always had books in their queue. So every week I had work. I always had work. I always had audiobook work. You know what I mean? And I became known as like the audiobook guy for a long time, in small, we'll say small circles, maybe in my house. No, some of the groups I was in, because I was always doing audiobooks, constantly doing audiobooks. And I wanted to be that guy who was always working. Then I wanted to be a person that could do this full time, because I was feeling so much satisfaction from doing this voiceover work and being involved in the community and helping other voice actors. I wanted to do this full time. I wanted to be a full-time voice actor. I wanted to have my own studio. I wanted to control my own destiny. I wanted to be full-time. So I then spent the next year and a half, on top of the year and a half that I was already in voiceover, working every single day on building a business that would allow me to come home and be a full-time voice actor. And in the summer of 2019, I did it. I left my job. I gracefully retired from teaching and teaching public high school, and I became a full-time voice actor. And then when I got home and I was a full-time voice actor, I realized, okay, well, what do I want now? Right? What do I want at this point? And I realized, okay, well, at this point, I want to help other people do what I did, because there are so many people who are in the same situation, and somewhat in the middle of their lives or so, and they have worked really hard and they've busted their butt, and they have a family or they have responsibilities and they have people to look after. But they want something different. They want to control the second half of their lives, and they want to work full time as voice actors too. And it's like, it would be really wonderful to help people. And I want to do the same thing. I want to do voiceover. I'm going to continue to do voiceover, and I'm also going to help people. So I started to create mastermind groups, and from that, the Academy was born to help people do the same thing that I did. Okay. And through the Academy, right, as I've learned at the time, I just wanted to have a group of people that I could help. And there was no specific number of people I was trying to have in the group. It was all just about, people who wanted to do the similar thing to what I did could be a part of that group, and we would work on all of us succeeding together. Then from there, right, I've realized that it was a really, I realized it was a gap in a place where there was not a lot of emphasis being put on our new age of voiceover in the digital world. I love meeting people in person, and I will always love meeting people in person. But 99% of everything that we do as voice actors is remote, now more than ever. It really is. From our own studios. Even if we go to a studio, we're usually connected remote to someone else from somewhere else in the world. No matter what we're doing, we are remote. Okay? And I realized too that, there were no conferences out there where that was a possibility, where it was specifically geared towards the digital, the digital age, meaning like the conference itself. Also, the way the conference was set up, the way people interacted in the conference was also a reflection of the digital age, not just the material that we heard from the people at the conference. So we did a conference, and that was fantastic. And now, the goal has been with the academy now to become the number one academy in the world. Now, what does that mean to become the number one voiceover academy in the world? I can only think, and again, I don't have I don't have tons of different ways to measure this, but I can only think of one thing that would make a place the number one place in the world, and I think that would be a place that helps more people succeed than anywhere else. And that's what I want to do at A VO's Journey Elite Academy, and not just new people. I've spent the first part of my career figuring out how to be a newbie and succeeding. And now this next part, right, is we've taught a lot of people how to get to that level, but there's a lot of people who want to go beyond to the next level. Who do I talk to when I want to get into trailers and promos in LA and New York? Who do I talk to when I'm trying to get, AAA rated games? Who are the devs I need to talk to? Who are, if I'm in e-learning, who are the instructional designers I need to talk to? What communities am I getting into? You know what I mean? Where do I need to hang out? What conventions do I need to go to for that? Okay, if I'm trying to get into audiobooks, my gosh, what production house? What lengths? Who do I need to speak to? Who are the people who can get me into? The more I'm learning about the larger part of the voiceover business that's outside of the general, Fivers and Upworks and pay-to-play sites and online rosters, right? What does it boil down to? Relationships, knowing people. All right. And I want the academy to be a part of that too. So much of this was born from, to me, this amazing conference this weekend. All right. So the goals, that long diatribe of oh God, this is going to be a really long, I just looked up at the time. Oh, wait, no. Oh, I thought it said 25 minutes. I was like, this podcast is already so long. Cause me, I won't shut up. So the goal setting has got to be paramount, and they don't have to be, your goal to take over the world right now, but eventually it might be like that. And that's okay too. All right. But you need to have a goal that's not just about money all the time. Money is a byproduct of your success at reaching your goal. Money is a byproduct. It's important. We need it to live, but it can't be because if it's just about money, my God, go do something else. Go do something easier where you don't have to think as hard. Go, you know what I mean? Go work at somewhere where they're going to pay you an hour, and then you come home and you don't have to think about it anymore. Because in our business, you got to think. You got to be creative. You got to work your ass off. It's fun. I think it is, right? But part of the fun is making mistakes, picking myself back up, and then figuring out the solution to it, is succeeding and moving on to the next one. That's fun to me. Okay. I like doing that. Okay. So that was a major theme. A big thing. At least you could tell it is a big thing for me. Another thing I think is social media. Social media was a big theme in the conference, especially LinkedIn. I think a lot of most of the sessions mentioned LinkedIn specifically out of all of them. I mean, TikTok, we had TikTok is a part of some right now because it's easy. It's so easier to grow on TikTok than anywhere else. However, right, you've got to there is a right way and a wrong way to do social media. Most of us, and I said this in the academy, I said this in the conference this weekend, most of us are marketing towards other voice actors, maybe inadvertently, but we are. So it's got to be the right way you're doing social media is making sure what you're doing is putting your voiceover business in the best light that other people who could be searching for voiceover artists find you, see what you're doing through your posts and your videos, and be like, oh yeah, this person could be really good. Or at least your stuff could be legitimizing your expertise, right? Almost like Brent Allen Hagel said, you're auditioning every time you put up a social media post. But LinkedIn was a vital theme, I think, in the conference. Not just for you posting things, but finding people to reach out to message, to follow, communities in LinkedIn. I think that was by far all of the places, all of the sessions. Pretty much, LinkedIn is where you need to be at from a social media standpoint. Okay, so that was a big one. Let's see some other things. So there was so much. I think another theme that I got a lot was knowing the genre you're trying to get into. That was, to me, a massive. I mean, at least to me, it was another big wake up call. Always, whenever you are at a certain level and you think you know something, there's always way more to learn. I always thought the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know, right? And I think so. Like, if you're gonna go into, again, these different paths, you're going to start somewhere to get your portfolio up and running. And that's what, we're going to tailor I'm going to continue to work on the academy, is helping people who want to go down different paths, right? Because you might be a person who wants to, do video games. You might want to do a person who does anime or dubbing, or you might be a person who wants to get into e-learning. Right. And you might be a person who wants to do radio commercials or TV commercials, a person who does audiobooks for, Penguin Random House Audio. You might be a person who wants to do movie trailers and promos. You might be a person who wants to do voicemail and IVR or podcasting or all kinds. I mean, you could do any of these things, but you have to know the vocabulary, the people in the industry, where you need to go, who's waiting in line, who are you, because that was one other thing too that to consider, is that time. I've worked with so many new people, and you're probably not surprised that I am the same way. I want things now. I don't like to wait. But yet the reality is, you guys, is that I've only been in the voiceover business now a little over 5 years, almost 6 years. And I'm a baby in this business, right? I mean, there's people in our group who've been in the business for 20, 30 years. And I'm just starting in this business. So there are people that have been putting in their dues, working hard, that are waiting in line for larger opportunities. What I love about the academy and what we figured out and we accomplished is that, we've been able to help new voice actors who are just coming in learn and also make money when they're just starting out, as opposed to being able to make no money. But as you grow to that next level, meaning like now you want to work with agents, agents, that was another thing. Agents don't want to work with people who are not bringing them anything to the table. I know this is crazy, right? But the thing is, I got to get an agent. Well, why would an agent work with you if you're not bringing them any money? I mean, I'm just like, it's interesting. It was, it was good to hear people who are working in this world, especially this weekend, talk about these things and, gut checks and reality checks and all these things about what we're doing. But knowing these things, it's almost like I was saying this to one of my people I was working with earlier today, again, about knowing your destination, right? You've got to know your destination, but then you've got to know how to get there. But then knowing how to get there is also knowing how to read the map, knowing what all the directions mean, knowing what all the vocabulary, like you've got to know the information. So you've got to go somewhere and learn it, right? And that's what the academy is to me. That's that place where people can come to learn all of that. And that's what, I'm going to be spending a lot of effort is in implementing a lot of the later parts of these things, learning about these different communities and places and agencies and studios and connections and all the things that you need to do. And then figuring out how to get to those people we're building those relationships in the academy, and I love that. And we're going to be bringing a lot of those people to speak in the academy too, coming up in the next months. But the key is for you to know who you are trying to target. What's your audience? Make that decision. That's a goal. That's a brand, right? Because think about it. The goal, who's the target audience. Your brand then is, my brand revolves around who my target audience is, right? Because that's who I am, is offering that to my target audience. Okay. And then to do that, I need to know what that target audience wants, what they're looking for, what vocabulary they're using, what they need from me, what they don't need from me. That was another theme. Don't send casting directors or businesses or studios or potential clients demos that aren't directly geared towards what they're doing. Don't send your car commercial demo to a movie trailer house. Okay. And don't send, your movie trailer demo to your e-learning instructional designer. You send the right demos to the right people. Be specific. That was a big thing that came out of the conference, because there's so many voice actors. We're competing against so many people. So a lot of these people are not just going to always go randomly searching for you. You need to go to them, but they still do on occasion. So that's why it's important that you have that brand out there, and you have places that you're on, like LinkedIn, and these sites like Fiverr, like voices.com, Voice123, and Upwork, and Voquint, and all these places that are giving you some space on the internet with your name and your brand. So to finish this up, I think that just made me think too about being, especially when you're first starting, getting yourself on these places and having a good brand. And that brand could be quality. That brand could be, customer service. That brand could be, a quirky way of doing voiceovers. Be you. You've got to be you. You have got to be you. Okay. So that's really key. That's really key. Listen, everybody, I could talk about this forever. I realize I'm looking up there and we're getting like over 27, 28 minutes. I got to stop. So I always try to make sure it's around 20, 22 minutes, but I don't want it to go over 30 minutes. So thank you all for those of you who made it to the conference this weekend. It was so much fun. So much fun. I can't wait. We're going to be holding another conference probably around the same time next year. And, those dates, of course, we'll release that more about 4 to 6 months out next year before we get there. But that's probably, when we're going to be, barring anything crazy, doing another conference, because it was so great and everybody seemed to love it so much. And I'd love to double our numbers and get even more speakers in next year. Although we were slam packed. I mean, we had every slot was pretty much taken. So, I mean, we could have had probably more Sunday, but I didn't want it to go too long on Sunday. So we only had about 4 or 5 hours on Sunday, whereas every other day we had like 8 or 10 hours. No, it was 9 hours. So we started at 10 and we were done at 7. So I guess we could have gone to 9. Anyways, thank you so much for coming to the conference. And if you didn't come, that's totally okay. Hopefully that this podcast helped you just with some of the brief themes that we talked about and how they can help you grow your voiceover business. And also, if you are advanced or you've been in this game for a little while, gosh, it's so important to build connections, right? It's so important to know exactly who the movers and shakers are. Because as you get to the higher levels, it's about who you know, right? Do you know the people who know the other people, who know those people who are always looking for referrals, right? Do you know where to go? Do you know what those people are looking for? And have you been evaluated? Have you had somebody evaluate your work that runs in those circles? So these are a lot of wonderful things. And on top of all that, the biggest, probably one of the themes, and I just didn't even mention it, hopefully you're still listening, of course, because you know me, I'm such a marketing guy, but the acting. I mean, gosh, to say that I didn't mention the acting thing, that was among every single session. Your performance. And I think in my mind, and I think this is probably it's been an Achilles heel of mine as an educator, because I spent the early part of my life training as an actor, a stage actor. I went to school, I got my BFA in theater, and then I got my master's in educational leadership. But then I spent years doing professional stage work. Then I directed and taught theater, and I've been in theater my whole life. So I'm oftentimes, I think I'm oftentimes neglecting the fact that your training is everything, right? If you can't deliver on a stellar performance, no one's going to hire you. It's got to be both. And then, of course, if no one sees you, then no one will hire you either. Okay, so it has to be both. So you need to go to a place where they're training you at all levels too. And that's something that I'm really excited about implementing in the academy, because right now all of our acting is really geared towards beginners. And we're really going to start adding in some more advanced things like workshops with higher level voice actors in the business, also theory, and really diving into real hardcore acting, so you can make solid decisions in your performances that help you get noticed. And you've got to get noticed in order to be heard, so you can get that chance at getting a job. All right, you guys, thank you again so much. Please check out the Academy. I'm so thrilled and excited about the future of voiceover, the future of our members in the Academy, and love for you to be a part of it. And thank you as always for watching. Share this with somebody if they need to hear us. One of your friends in voiceover or something who, they might be trying to figure out what direction they need to go in. Share this with them. Hopefully it'll be helpful. Thank you guys. As always, I love you to death. Have a wonderful, wonderful Monday and the rest of your week. I will talk to you soon. Take it easy. Peace.